Welcome, everyone, to Conversations with Eileen, episode number 17. I can't believe it. We are at 17, and it just seems like we started just yesterday. So we are barely through the month of October, and we have had so much activity. We've done 3 podcasts for fire prevention. We had a podcast prior to this on Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And today I actually have a neighbor, and she has been so kind to come on and talk about her experience and why it's so important to protect the boobies. So without further ado, we're going to welcome my friend, Amy Weiner. As soon as I bring her in. There she is.
Hi. I'm here.
Thank you so much for joining.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure to help.
So you know that we've talked about this a little bit prior.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt it was a very important topic, having gone through something myself, and something you've gone through, and actually many friends that I know.
A lot.
It's surprising because unless you start talking to people,
you never know.
And you just go, really, you too?
Mm-hmm.
So right before your podcast, I did one with a good friend her name is Sue.
Mm-hmm.
And you might find this interesting. She actually did a 23andMe test.
Okay.
She, at the time, was in her late 30s, had very young children. And she actually got results back that she carried the BRCA gene. Okay. Then went on for further genetic testing, and it turns out she was positive and has since had a hysterectomy and a double mastectomy. But we call them life-saving measures. And, we like to use the term survivors.
Absolutely, because that's what it is.
I like to use the term warriors.
That's a good term. I think a combination of both, and you've hit it right on the head.
So we have surviving warriors.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, we are absolutely triumphant.
Heroes.
Yes, absolutely. That's how you feel when you get through it. Because as you know, as you're going through treatment and all, you don't know if that end is coming. And you know, when they say you have 42 radiation treatments ahead of you, it just seems insurmountable. But you get through it and you realize, I made it through. Pat, pat, pat. I made it through.
A lot of good reasons to be grateful. I know you have 3 wonderful sons and a husband that you love, and I'm sure is totally still in love with you like day one.
He is, yes.
Those are just 4 reasons off the top of my head that I can think of for your perseverance. So please tell me your story.
Oh, well, I was always very diligent about getting mammograms. And because I have a larger chest, they always sent me for a sonogram saying that you have dense breasts. And every year I've gone, I've always had to go back for more images because I have dense breasts, and it always ended up, you're fine. But the last time, 3 years ago, not even 3 years ago, I kept going. They kept asking and asking, and something inside me said, no, it's too much. And out of nowhere, the radiologist called me, not even my doctor. He said, hi, I have your results. You have breast cancer. They didn't even send it to my doctor yet. It was the radiologist from Zwanger-Pesiri. Hadn't even sent it to my doctor. And he's like, so have a good weekend. You have breast cancer. This was a Friday at 4:00. Where do you go? Where do you go? Luckily, my gynecologist got the results, and he called me Saturday night at 10:00 to tell me. And I said, well, he's already told me. And there it became an immediate search for a breast surgeon. And my mother-in-law had gone through breast cancer, and she had a mastectomy. And I took 2 of her referrals, and I ended up with Dr. Port, Mount Sinai. And I felt like I was in great hands, but I was very proactive, and I wouldn't even think of delaying the surgery because of my boys and my husband, and that is my personality. I think after all these years,
Yeah.
I need something done. I want it done yesterday. Went in to see her. She said, "Yes, you have a lump. We're going to take it out. We're going to test your lymph nodes." And going into that surgery, she said, "When do you want it?" I said, I want it tomorrow. Like she said, some people
Right.
take a few months to think about it.
No.
I said, no months. No. So the following week I had it. And I remember, Eileen, walking into the surgery, because you have to walk in, thinking it could be what she is expecting, or as she said, but we don't know. Once you get the lymph nodes back, you just don't know. And after surgery, and I remember waking up saying, okay, step one. I woke up, that feeling. And then the results came back. She took out 11 lymph nodes, and it was not in the lymph nodes. So she got huge margins. She said I needed to take very big margins, but it was 42 rounds of radiation, which by round 12, from my neck to my stomach, was black. It looked like barbecue, like briquettes. But every time, and they kept doing it, I just said, no, it is one step closer to being done with this. And I noticed and I think for anybody out there going through it, you cannot look at the whole picture. You have to take every day and wake up the next day and say, I have to go again, because you must go every day. You cannot skip a day. That is how and it was, at times it was a lot, because I had to get my radiation laying on my stomach because my tumor was attached to my chest wall.
Wow. Okay.
So the radiation had to go through, and she said, do not move, because if you move during the 20 minutes, it will hit your heart. So the tension of laying there for 20 minutes, but each time I kept saying, no, I'm one step closer. I'm one step closer to being done.
Well, you had a very positive mindset, and that, I think, is extremely important.
Yes.
There are those that struggle, and you need a good support system around you.
Absolutely.
You're going to have a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to have a bad day and say, you know what, this sucks.
This sucks.
It sucks.
Everything hurts. Yes. And I think you have to realize that, because I saw a lot of other women at the radiation place that I went, and I saw kind of like the same ones because we were on the same schedule. And I noticed the real disparity between mental mindsets. There was some where I'm here, and after this, I'm going shopping, or I'm going home and I'm going to sleep and whatever. And then there were others where I know it's just a matter of time before it catches up to me. And I try to help them, but the mindset really dictates, I think, how you react to it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's a really, really good point. It's almost as if you're looking at the mountain,
Mm-hmm.
and you're saying, well, I need to get to the top of that mountain, but I can't look at the mountain as a whole. I just have to look at it as one step.
Absolutely.
One step. And you know what? By the grace of God, you were able to do that, and that's your personality. You are on the path. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this.
Because what is your option? There is no option.
That's my mindset also.
Option.
There's no. It's let's go.
Right. Let's start so I can get done. Yes.
And again, the importance of having a really good support system around you is very paramount for someone that is struggling.
Yes, because you need to either have it at home, or you need to have that good friend, or even somebody at work, because I was working every day and leaving and going to. I'm a teacher, so going from first grade to going for radiation, by the time you get home, you feel like your mind wants to explode. Sure. But you need that good friend, that one or two good friend, and knowing you're coming home to an environment that understands. Like, you might be not at your game today, Right. I think it's very important to put that in place before you even have the surgery. Okay, who am I going to lean into? Yes. Yes,
Very
I have
important.
wonderful friends that are in the neighborhood, that are
Yes.
in the neighborhood, and even in Nebraska. And it doesn't matter. Everybody was there. Everybody was there.
That's amazing. And I'm so glad that we ran into each other.
I was just going to say, your opening remark was you don't know what
Right.
other people are going through. It was only because we were online at the deli counter that I'm even here, because it came out that I had breast cancer.
Yeah.
Well, if I wasn't buying turkey that day,
Right.
you wouldn't know.
Right. But you know what? It's always my belief. We are put where we're supposed to be at the time we're supposed to be
I
there.
agree with that totally.
We're supposed to meet at the deli counter that day and
I agree.
have a conversation. And why I thought to even bring it up to you, I don't know why. It just
Right.
we were chit chatting and it came out, and
Mhm.
I feel very, very strongly about we need
Early
this
detection.
found not only in October, but 365 days a year of
Absolutely.
taking care of yourself,
Mm-hmm.
proactive, going for your checkups.
Yep.
You know, just because it's October and you and I are
Right. We're all pinked out. Yeah.
we're twinning in pink,
Yep.
doesn't mean that come November we forget about the tatas.
Right. Right. Exactly. I see when I go to Mount Sinai, because I go every 6 months for testing, because sometimes they think there's might be there's always something, but it's been great so far.
Okay.
But I will not miss one of those appointments for that reason, because it's only because I was very active and proactive in getting these scans that it ended up being so positive. And it was very hard during the whole quarantine and COVID, when they didn't want you in the hospital. I was like 4 months or 3 months late for my appointments. But I said, you know what? It's worse for me not to go. And I went, because you have to. And women, especially women, because we put everybody before us.
Yep.
Everybody, our kids, our husbands, our friends. You have to take care of you, because you can't take care of anybody else if you're not good. And that's how I feel.
That is, I mean, if we're going to hashtag anything, I think that is it, because as you said, we, as mothers and we have partners and we have friends and we have, 1,000 other things that you want to take care of, you want to be there for, but that can't happen unless you take care of yourself.
Right.
One of the things that really, really stuck out for me when we were talking was your diligence in being very proactive and making sure that you went every year for your checkup. Amy, that's
every year. Yeah, every year, because I just said, you know what? Just like with so many things, I go for, the bone density test. Anything you can do to offset something in the future that does not have to be an issue is worth doing. And putting it off and putting blinders on and making believe, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow becomes next year. And you should know now what's going on.
right.
You have to take control. And that is why I walked out of Mount Sinai with a good report after surgery, instead of the opposite. She had said, had you waited, it would have spread to your lymph nodes. It was invasive, but it it didn't get further. She said another few months, it would have spread if you hadn't caught it. Yeah, because it was a fast spreading one, but she said you caught it and we got it.
Thank God. Thank God.
And that is the key. I really believe that is the key.
So
for most people,
anyone that's listening and you're afraid and you think,
do not be afraid.
Don't be afraid.
And don't be afraid if they say they have to. I do know people, they go for it and they say we'd like you to go for an MRI. And then they won't go because they say they're claustrophobic. Well, there are open MRIs, because I am one of those people. But I made sure you just have to put the things in place that make it best for you. You can't be afraid. You have to take it on.
You have to take the step.
Yeah, nobody else is going to. They'll help you, but you have to do it.
Right.
Absolutely.
Because our lives are wonderful gifts. And to be afraid to take a step
Mhm.
or take that make that appointment
Mhm.
is not doing
You're
justice.
cheating yourself. You're cheating yourself out of a fuller life that you could have because fear can keep you back. But once you take that first step, you realize, I think I can do this. I remember the first day walking into radiation thinking, oh boy. But you know what? You just have to walk in and say, I'm here, and that's it. And what do I have to do?
And if you're afraid, call a friend.
Yes,
There's
yes,
someone that will go with you and hold your hands.
yes, there are. Yes,
Call Amy or me, and
I will go. Yes, don't. Yeah, what people don't be afraid to ask, and don't be embarrassed because it's breast cancer or people say, oh, then people look at me different. Who cares if they're looking at you different? That's not the person you want to have with you. That's how I feel.
For me, it's such the opposite because both you and Sue, I look at as uh, you guys are superheroes. You were talking the talk and walking the walk and
Mhm.
spreading awareness and doing all that you can do to make sure that people understand the importance and
Yeah,
even coming on and doing this podcast. You know, my hope is that we reach one person, that one
absolutely.
person that has it in the back of their mind that says,
Hmm.
I'm overdue.
Right. Like, when is the last time I got that?
Right.
Yeah.
Or like you say, tomorrow turns into next year. We don't want that.
No, we don't want that. I tell everybody, I mean, I don't just say, hi, my name is Amy and I had breast cancer. Hello. But even at a faculty meeting, if
Yeah.
someone says something, I'm like, no, you got to go. You have to go do it. No,
Yes.
I'm here because I did.
And the survival rate really is exceptionally high
Yes.
when detected early.
When caught, when women don't go, and then it becomes, it spreads and then it goes into your lymph nodes, then it becomes a whole different picture that you didn't necessarily have to have.
Right.
That's what gets me mad. Or when people say, like, nobody was supportive in the family. Who cares about them? You take care of yourself.
There's going to be someone, as whether it's a friend or
Mhm.
maybe a coworker. There is someone out there, and
Yes.
you
But
know,
you have to ask. You can't be afraid to ask for help.
right.
That's it. You can't be superwoman and think you're going to do it by yourself. You need to ask for help.
Right.
All you have to do is ask that one person, and you'll be surprised what you get back. But you have to do it.
Well, you got a lot back, and I'm so
I
glad
did.
to hear that you are well. You look
I am.
terrific.
Oh, thank you. We're
And
both pink.
yes, I know. Well, we had to represent.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We
I'm
did.
wearing mine tomorrow at school.
Oh, there you go. That's wonderful. I love it. So we're gonna just keep spreading the message throughout the rest of the
I'm going to do
month.
whatever it takes.
When this video is aired, I'm gonna share it with you, and we're gonna just keep the message. Doesn't matter if it's October, November, December, March, April.
Mammograms run all year round. It's not just October.
And there's one other thing that I had thought of today.
Mm-hmm.
That is, there are some people, and I do know a few that don't have great insurance, and they think, oh, it's not going to get covered. It's not going to get covered.
Yeah.
There are resources out there.
Mm-hmm.
There is the breast cancer, the
unit.
Yes, and you can reach out to
National Medical and UMC.
Yes.
They have a clinic. Yes. I do believe that B'nai B'rith once a year, on Hadassah, they also run clinics for those who can't afford it or don't have health insurance. There are resources out there. You're absolutely right.
Right. So there's no excuse.
Yes, exactly. I totally agree.
Listen, we know it's not.
We know we have to get it out to those.
It's not. I usually do my countdown. I always say to the person doing the mammogram, okay, is it like 10? Can I do 10? She's like 10. I'm 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. For me, that's that's what I do. We're holding on to the pole,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's in my head. 10, and I get 2,
And
1.
they say, I'm sorry, we have to compress more. That's okay. Then am I always thinking, because I'm short, so that I'm always like on my tippy toes. I'm like, can't this thing come down anymore? Like,
Yes. For our viewers, Amy is very tiny. She
yeah,
is very
I'm
petite.
5'1" on a humid day.
Oh, you have been so wonderful, and
It was my pleasure. Anything to help.
I'm so glad that we were in the same place at the same
Needed
time.
cheese.
It was meant to be. It was meant to be.
I agree.
We're going to ring the bell, and we're not going to just stop in October. We're
Right.
going to talk about we're going to talk about just taking care of ourselves. Whether it's going for your pap smear.
It's all part of it. You hear, as we said, you take care of yourself, so you can take care of everybody else.
Yes.
As we know,
But
that's what we do.
listen, we go to the dentist also, right?
Yes, even that. People say, "Oh, I'm afraid of the dentist." Okay, then when your teeth fall out, you're going to be really afraid.
Exactly.
You're going to really regret it. Don't regret something that's so accessible.
Do you know, that's so funny you say that, because I have said this to my children. And Anthony's 24, Krista's 21. Regret is a wasted emotion.
Mm-hmm. I say to my kids all the time, the 3 worst words: I should have. I should have. It's because it's so infuriating, because you can't change it anymore, but you can. I say to them, but you can stop doing it so it doesn't happen again.
Exactly.
I agree with you.
Exactly.
That
Take
is
that step and make that appointment. And if you need Amy or I to come with you,
I will go. I
and
will
then
go.
we're taking you out afterwards, right?
That's right.
That's a plan.
I will do that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me on, Eileen. It was really, I'm very glad I did this.
And for opening up and sharing your story. It's really amazing. And you're a warrior. I like warrior. I mean,
I do like warrior. I like that.
warrior.
I do. I'll have to come up with some type of logo. Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah. And you know what? If one person hears this, then it was all worth it.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's true.
Absolutely. And that's the point. So
agreed.
Thank you so much.
You are very welcome.
And I will meet up with you again at either Stu Leonard's or
I'm around. I make the whole
around. You got it. You got it. Thank you so much, Amy.
Okay. Bye-bye, Eileen.
Take care.